Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Jedi Knights Watch for another 6-scale figure unboxing and review. We're going to be doing something a little bit different today. This is not going to be a Hot Toys figure, but it's going to be a Scissorhands figure from Art Toys, a third-party company. So again, this is not going to be a licensed figure, but this is going to be based on Edward Scissorhands. And as you've known, I have not been a third-party collector, but some of these figures lately are getting really impressive, so I decided to kind of take the plunge here and take a shot at this Scissorhands figure, see what it's all about. It looked really good from the prototype, so I did order it from 16kit.com. You can find yours there if it's still in stock, but supplies are limited. The art box is actually pretty cool. It's more artsy than I thought it would be. You know, typically with these third-party figures, you just think they're going to be very plain because, you know, they don't have any licensing, but it's got an image of the figure on the front as well as on the side. On the bottom, it does say Scissorhands, and it's a really cool design. It's going to not be as, deep as, a Hot Toys box, but once we get it onto the table, you can see it's small, and that's partly because there's not a lot that comes with the figure, but it's a really nice design. It's magnetic, and then it opens up kind of like a book. And just really nice portrait of the figure inside as well. It says, from the imagination of Tim Burton. I like the presentation here. I'm actually pretty impressed. I love the foam inserts. Really nice touch by Art Figures right there. And then we see the figure inside, and it's got all these straps and all of these scissor fingers, and you can see the figure itself. At first glance, I really do think that the likeness is so good here, especially compared to the Hot Toys Edward Scissorhands that came out long ago. This looks really impressive. I've never seen a third-party figure that had such a really good head sculpt. So guys, I'm really excited about this. You can see here the first look at the head sculpt. The sculpted hair looks really good. You even have loose strands kind of all over the place. It looks wet and kind of moppy, but it looks authentic. The face looks good. It's pale. You can see all these scars here. I think the likeness to Johnny Depp is there. You can see kind of different angles in the profile. The outfit is different. There's different materials all over. This midsection area is more like a Batman cape, but then we have straps and chain and buckles and loopholes going all over the place. It looks really nice. I don't know how some of this material is going to hold up over time, but this is a busy outfit. There is a lot going on. These pieces right here are very fragile. Be very careful. The one thing I will say about this figure is it is completely fragile. Be very careful. You got the great detail in the hands themselves, but they are going to be a pain, spoiler, to get together. The boots are going to be fully sculpted with a split cut boot design. They do feel pretty loose. Again, this is a third-party figure, so I'm not expecting the body to be very tight and stiff. It's probably going to be pretty loose. You're going to need that base to hold it on, but aesthetically this looks really nice, and that's why I got this, because of the way it looked. The way it's going to present itself on the shelf is what really intrigues me about this figure. So that's what I'm really interested in. Kind of moving it around here a little bit just to kind of see the posing, but it is kind of scary because I don't want to break anything. These scissors are super thin plastic, and yeah, I don't want anything to kind of fall apart. You got all those those wires too that are plastic as well, so just be very careful. Let's see what else is in here. As we lift the foam up, we have the base underneath, and it also comes with your typical crotch grabber, and it's kind of stuck here as I'm throwing everything around just trying to get it out. But once we do get it out, we'll take a closer look at the base, kind of put this strap back here for now, and we'll take a look at that in a little bit. But normal crotch grabber, it kind of protrudes out a little too far though for how big this base is. But let's just focus on the base for now. Comes with a nice metal nameplate that says Scissorhands, and it's in the Edward Scissorhands font, so that's really cool. But you got all these gears on the top, and they protrude out the top, and it looks really nice. There's dry brushing going on, rust effects, really cool detail, and it really just kind of screams Edward Scissorhands as I struggle to get the crotch grabber into the base here. All right, there we go. So now you can see what the base looks like fully assembled, and it does have some nice pads on the bottom so that you won't scratch any shelf or anything like that. So let's set that to the side. Let's take a look at the accessories that come with the Scissorhands figures. We got some extra parts, some wrist pegs, and then some, it's like a cable or like a wire. I'm not sure what that's for. Hopefully we don't need it. We do have the midsection belt here. Really cool designs, got some brass and silver pieces to it. It is going to be pleather. Again, I worry how well this is going to hold up over time. The buckles are plastic, so be very careful with this as well. You know, you could snap something off. And then it comes with three straps, I should say, that go onto the leg itself. I am a little concerned about this. I've heard it can be kind of tricky. And then finally, we do have the blades that we do have to insert ourselves as well. I am not sure why some of these blades are already on the figure and some we have to install. I don't know why I have to pay this amount for a figure and then install a bunch of things myself too. But nonetheless, they do look good. They are plastic and they do have a nice paint application to them. So now we're going to skip ahead to the figure fully assembled. This is the pose that I'm going to stick him in the cabinet. I skipped putting the buckles on, putting the Scissorhands in. There are no directions that come with this figure, so it's pretty much you're on your own. You just have to figure it out. And guys, it is a complete nightmare. Putting these straps on was the worst part of any figure that I've ever had. Putting the scissors on was a complete nightmare as well. And the fact that you really had to fight to get these straps into the loops. Like the loops aren't even big enough to really fit the strap through. Try it out tweezers, you know, and it took forever just to get them to where they are here. So they're not even completely finished. But yeah, it really was off-putting for the figure. But I do want to focus on some of the things that I like about the figure before we kind of get into some of those things that I drastically hated. And the first thing that I like is obviously the likeness of Johnny Depp to Edward Scissorhands. The hair is really cool. You can see all these loose strands. It just looks really realistic. I think the face sculpt is on point. The paint application looks good. So well done there. The material of the suit is definitely different in places. This is like a windbreaker here, and then down here it's like a type of material like a Batman cape would have. And then we got like buckles and straps and brass knobs everywhere. The arm here is like a different material. It almost seems like a pleather material that was like painted on. So I'm not sure how well that's going to hold up. So that is definitely going to be concerning. I do really like the base, even though I do not like the crotch grabber that they chose to use here. But I think the base itself, it could have been like plain. We've seen Sideshow just come out with like black bases. So the fact that they did that is really actually pretty super cool. And I just think the detail in the outfit is amazing. You know, I like all the straps. I like the Scissorhands and the paint applications to them and all the colors. But going to the things that I hate or don't like, the straps. Like the buckles aren't big enough to fit the straps through. It was a total nightmare to get this on. I don't understand why the company couldn't just put these on. I don't know why we have to build the figure ourselves. It was super, super inconvenient. Took me about an hour and a half to mess with. And then the crotch grabber just goes out too far forward. The figure is almost off the front of the base. I think the base either needed to be bigger or they should have went with a smaller crotch grabber so he was further back on the base. It just looks a little bit off to me. And then like just pieces like this, it came out of the box already disconnected. I tried my best to plug it back into where it goes, but I didn't want to break it. The scissors were a nightmare to get in. Some popped in okay, and others I had to like sand down just to get to fit where it was supposed to go. Be very careful. It's super thin plastic, and outside of that, the paint application looked good. But like turning the hand too, you need the whole contraption to turn the hand, so you almost have to use two hands. It's such a fragile figure. I don't even want to pose it, to be honest. I got him into this pose, and I'm probably just gonna like set it and forget it. This thumb piece I actually broke, so I had to glue that back on just by trying to put it in. So again, I wasted like an hour and a half, super frustrated, just trying to get the figure put together. I'm really upset that the straps aren't even to how they're really supposed to be. You know, I feel like I can't move the hands at all because I don't want to break the figure and I don't want it to fall apart on me, because it happens so many times just trying to move the arms and whatnot that, you know, scissors fell out of the pegs or whatnot. So super frustrating figure. However, it does look really, really nice. So I think if you can get it into the position that you want it to be and you can just set it and forget it, get it onto the shelf, I think aesthetically it's going to look really good, so I think you will be happy with it if you can get past the assembly part. Alright guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Would love to hear from you. And until next time, stay safe out there, and we'll see you soon.